So today we're going to talk about a new Wii game, Madworld, which you've been playing.
Yeah, that's right. Madworld is a game made by Sega for the Nintendo Wii. In the game you play Jack. It's a third-person action fighting brawling game where you're sort of trapped in a reality show or a contest where the point of the game is to kill as many other people as brutally as possible.
Sounds like an old game. Smash TV, is it?
Yeah, it does have some of the attitude from Smash TV, but it also has in fact a story put into the game, along with a unique visual style and extremely brutal and graphic violence. It's a really violent game. It's by far the most violent game on the Wii. Probably one of the most violent games ever. But it's very. The setting can remind you of Manhunt when you describe it, but it's very different from Manhunt because Manhunt was a very controversial game where you had to kill people when you were being filmed, sort of snuff type game, and it was very brutal and it was very direct, very gritty, kind of disturbing.
Yep.
A very disturbing game experience. But Madworld is, first of all, the graphics are very reminiscent of the Sin City comic books. Yeah. It's black and white, only the blood is red. It's very artistic in a way. All the characters look like the comic book characters. They are very exaggerated muscles, expressions, movements, and therefore the violence doesn't have the same impact as it has in a game like Manhunt. This is happy violence. I mean, you put a tire over a guy, traps his arms, then you grab a road sign, you stab him in the eye with it, and he walks around with the road sign, blood everywhere. Then you put him on fire, and just to finish him off, you throw him against some spikes, or you put his ass down on a spike and it comes up through his head. I mean, it looks... When I was a kid, I drew comic books, and I drew a comic book where I killed off all the teachers in the school in the most sadistic ways possible. And this is sort of like, this is exactly what I drew when I was a kid. Yeah. So it's sort of like the adolescent violent fantasy in a video game.
Yeah, okay. But how does it play then?
Well, it plays surprisingly well. I mean, whenever you pick up an action game for the Wii, you sort of think, oh, how will this work? Will I be sitting here?
Yeah,
will my arms be tired after 5 minutes? But you control the game like a normal third-person game, like Mario, with a stick. And you do most of it is button pressing, but you do sometimes slash, and it comes natural. I mean, you don't think twice about it once you're into the game. The problem with the controls is at first it's very easy because the enemies do nothing but stand around and wait for you to torture them or brutally abuse them. But in the later levels, the enemies get a little more aggressive, and then there are camera problems all the time when there are many enemies. You sort of get annoyed by the control system because it could have been more precise.
From some of the pictures I've seen, it's just black and white and red, and it looks cool, but some of the black and white backgrounds just seem to blend together. I can't tell one thing from the other. How does it look?
Yeah, that's a problem when you're playing it too, actually, because when things or enemies or objects are up close to you, then you can make out what it is, and it looks great most of the time. But whenever something is off in a distance, it's just a blur, and I really you have to adjust to the graphics because you have no sense of where you are or how the stage really looks unless you've explored it thoroughly. So I think that the game really would shine with HD graphics on the Xbox or the PS3, because then it would be much more crisp, it would be much more detailed. But it works fine. I mean, most of the time you're watching people getting grinded in a meat grinder or running around on fire, and you don't care. And aesthetically, the graphics are super. it's a great visualization of the game, and it adds a lot to the atmosphere.
Yeah. So good controls, cool graphics, cool setting, and that's
yeah, it's a good game, and it's definitely something different for the Wii, and it's something the Wii needs. It needs more of these sort of adult or young adult type of games. It's a hardcore title. It's got a hardcore fighting system, and it works good most of the way. It gets a bit repetitive after a while, but it's a blast. It's hilarious, and you will laugh your ass off for hours with this game, because the violence is so exaggerated. It's so over the top that I mean, who doesn't love violence like that?
Ah, okay. So game to look out for the Wii fans?
Absolutely. If you're a Wii fan and you're sort of it's gathering dust among all the horses and cats and playground titles, then pick up this title and get some new life into your Wii.
Yeah.